to my series, Soul Deep on the Road. My name is Leanne Shawler, and for a time now I have been doing Soul Deep on a website, which is like videos that you get to watch my process and you get to hear the story behind the process and how I am dealing with emotions and feelings. And it's my belief that by witnessing this, you too can become a part of that transformation that I experience in creating something and coming to some sort of resolution. And now that we are moving to Australia and I've had to pack up my studio, I can't do those big paintings anymore. So I am downsizing into a traveler's notebook, and we're going to see if we can continue the Soul Deep experiences, because there are a lot of transitions that are happening right now, and I'm going to take you with me. So we're going on the road together. And just as I'm turning the page over here, we are in a new episode, and this one is on the themes of goodbyes. And this paper is holding up really well, I'm finding. So I'm just going to start with some watercolor, just picking out the colors that, mimic my feelings of saying goodbye. And it's probably an unusual color to choose. It's like an orange that added a little bit of white too. But it's just expressing like the warmth of the farewells that I did. And I'm just adding those colors in just to get rid of that blank page. I really don't like saying goodbyes, and so I'm just going to journal about that here. This pencil that I'm using is water soluble, so a lot of these words will disappear. I am debating whether or not just to let you read this, but so we'll see how long I talk for, and that's how much you get to read. At some point it becomes illegible even to me as I'm watching this replay. I'm writing down the emotions of how I'm feeling, of all the dear friends and almost new family members that I have gained in my time away in the United States, and what it means to be leaving all those behind and coming back to Australia, where I have family who I love dearly, but so much is new and different. And of course I mean making a whole bunch of new friends again, and as an introvert, not my favorite thing. So I'm writing all these feelings down, and I'm going to just fast forward through the rest of this, and good luck with reading my scribbly handwriting. Now I've pulled some pieces of printed deli paper. I stamped on these with some old stamps, as I wasn't expecting to be able to take too many with me on my journey to Australia, and the rest, of course, are packed off in that shipping container. I'm using these pieces both because they have swirls in them that sort of indicate that my emotions, and also just to cover up some of the words a bit and just to make things a little less precious. I bought these papers online, and they're like this interesting tracing paper with like inky blotches on them. I auditioned them, but I decided against using them at the end. It's another layer, and it gives me a chance to again express those sad emotions of leaving all my good friends behind. One of the challenges with journaling with a limited set of supplies is that a lot of the ones that I've picked, transparency in them, and so I've reached for these tiny little ink blot things. I'll link below as to the name of them. I also use them to wet and make sort of like an opaque paint out of. And I'm not sure in this moment whether this is me covering up my emotions and my feelings that I have just written down and out and trying to hide them, or if it's a way to bring healing to them. Jury is out at this point as to what it is that I am trying to do here. And it's a new day and a new country. This is actually filmed here in Australia, and I am still feeling the urge to cover up those words some more, so I've pulled out some collage and I'm just gluing that down. The collage is like ancient maps, and I think I'm just trying to draw into the enormity of this move, going across the world, literally, having said goodbye to everybody. So perhaps might be my first step in healing from this. All that the goodbyes have been said, and here I am in a new place. Not sure, still at this point, what the meaning here. I'm just going with my intuition and my feelings. And so, this might be an opportunity for you to bring yourself in here as to what goodbyes you say or have said, and whether you let yourself mourn those griefs or hid them away. I think I've decided that it is mourning, because I'm adding this dark lunar blue watercolor in and around all these shapes. So I think I'm done here with hiding things and covering everything up. And I'm adding one of my favorite motifs in here, the spiral. For me, it's a symbol of divine, but in this case, I believe it's the connections between all the different people. So it's a new day, the paint is dried, and I'm going in with some extra color just to deepen that color a bit more. And you can see I'm bringing in a lot of gold color. It's a quinacridone yellow. It's really lovely and rich color, and I think it's just for me to express the richness of those connections that I have made in the United States, and just infusing that with that divine gold. Now I have let everything dry, and I've come back and I've decided to add some pen work around the spiral just to bring it more into the foreground, as it's a very important symbol here to me. As I think those dots are showing people in the center of those spirals, and the connections between the two people in the center of the spirals, as well as those wider connections between groups of people that I knew. And I'm continuing to make marks, turning like those world symbols with that blue turquoise Posca paint pen. And then I'm pulled to add some white gel pen line work in there as well, and some white gouache to fill in that center. I'm not quite sure what that means. And just some squiggles to represent like my emotions and feelings, and how this is all quite complicated. And with that paint dry, I'm coming back in and creating more curvy lines coming out of those spirals and around, trying to extend the network. You know, it's going off the page here, so I think my hope is also that these connections will continue beyond the page or beyond the country. With the tip of a gold brush pen, which I also used in one of the circles, is right under my hand at this point, I'm just adding some little dots. I'm not quite sure what those dots signify. Usually it's like people, so perhaps these are just people who have surrounded me in my life. Coming back in with that white gel pen, and I have decided to make another moon, planet, Earth shape here. I think I was going to like outline around the spirals lines, but I decided to do this instead, just to bring some balance to the page. Unfortunately, don't have any more footage after this. My nephew came over and we had a bit of a painting sesh together, and so I finished off the page with him off camera. So I'm just going to explain just briefly what I did. I darkened those swirls a little more, added a little bit more color, and I added these breaks in the line as well. So you can see, I just thought they signified the breaks in connection from moving to a new country. Next is a series of images from the painting, which will give you a chance to see for yourself any images or marks to reflect and respond to this painting. What stirs in you as you look at this painting? What did you see? See below this video for ways to share your thoughts. If you want to dive into some more Soul Deep experiences, you can go see them over on my website, www.soul-deep.net, and you can check those out there. They're all free, so just set aside like 15-20 minutes to just really sink into the whole process that's happening in the video. I think it's quite bite-sized. Or you can subscribe here on YouTube and just click the bell for notifications when the next Soul Deep on the Road episode is up online. So thank you for watching.